flattening notes and bending notes. You'll find that in the major scale, you'll find that the third and the seventh, of course, are right this sharp, all right? But in the pentatonic scale, that third and that seventh is flat. So what African Americans often did instead of right? So you're flattening those notes, bending them in places, just adding a little extra thing there. So that's one thing you can do as well, but you're thinking putting that pentatonic scale above it. So you often hear this minor pathos even though you're in a major key. It's because they're flattening those notes. So you can do that as one option to flatten the notes. The other thing you can do is you can alter the original melody. All kinds of things you can do. You can add neighboring tones, you can add passing tones, you can add ornaments, trills, grace notes, appoggiatures, acia, all those theory terms that you guys remember from freshman theory, right? Like, what are we going to do with these things? But my idea is, you add all of these things. So, here's my song. Mary had a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, his face was white as snow. Okay? All right, so I'm going to alter the original melody. Mary had a little lamb, a little lamb, a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, his face was white as snow. Now that's not the regular Mary had a little lamb melody, right? So by just adding things, adding neighboring tones, passing tones, all those things. So get ready because I'm going to get some of you guys this right. All right. So you can add some things. The other thing you can do is you can alter the original rhythm. So you know the rhythm. Mary had a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, a little lamb, a little lamb. Mary had change the rhythm. Put something different. Make something happen there. The other thing you can do, you can avoid the beat. You can hold back the beat. You can anticipate, go before the beat. You can sustain pitches, a little longer than catch up. Mary had a little lamb. Right? So you can do all these little tricks to try something different. The other thing you can do is you can alter the cadence. Of course, you can change what you want to do and how it goes. You can alter the timbre. So Mary had a little lamb, Mary had little lamb is the least white as snow. Right? So you can change the timbre in terms of what you want to do with that as well. From the classical sound to, you can make it really ugly, for lack of better terms. There's something called purposeful distortion in the gospel side, where you will purposely distort the words. We know it's not Jesus. Yeah. We know it's Jesus. But we want to say, Jesus, Jesus. Well, you can purposely distort the text and do some interesting things with that. You can do it in your head voice, your mid voice, your chest voice, all kinds of things. Then you can alter the text. Mary, 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 Mary. She had a little lamb, she thought it was precious. She had a little lamb, she had a little lamb, she called the little lamb her precious baby. Mary, 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 Mary had a little precious lamb, and the fleece was white as snow. But you can change the words. You can add in other words. Those are other things you can do. What else you can do? You can alter the harmonies. You heard me do that. You can add a vamp. So, a vamp, in many gospel songs, you will have three sections. You'll have the verse, you'll have the chorus, and the vamp is that section that repeats over and over and over again. Now, know that repetition plays a significant role in gospel. From the African culture, repetition is important because it's a collective art. Everybody's supposed to participate. So if you repeat something enough times, everybody can join in because they can pick it up and learn. but also the emotional aspect changes as you continually repeat something. So if you repeat it over and over and over and over again, you'll feel differently about it the last time you sang it than the first time you sang it. And that's how gospel music is said to be transformational. Many times when you're singing a song, it's like, yeah, it's just a song. By the time you get done, why am I crying? Why am I weeping? What is happening today? Because something has changed because of the emotional aspect. I use this example all the time. Say I have to sing the song, I Can Do It. Now, mind you, when I get up to sing, well, I just crashed my car, I just flunked my board exams, I, just got divorced. Anything that can happen to me just happened. It's awful. But now I have to get up and sing, I Can Do It. So needless to say, I don't feel like I can do it, right? So I start out, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. My phone can do it too. Turn that off, right? That's Mark. They're probably trying to figure out where we're supposed to be. I can do it. 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 I can do it, right? Right? So, now, when I started, I didn't feel like I could. But as I kept on singing, then I felt like maybe I could. So there's a transformational nature about this music, and that's why it's so repetitive. Gospel often gets such a hard way to go because it is repetitive, but people don't realize that that's a part of the aesthetic. You've got to keep repeating it and singing it until you feel it. There's a song that says, sing till the power of the Lord comes down. Well, if it ain't come the first time, you better sing it a second. I don't feel it yet. One more time. I'm feeling it now. So that's the purpose of repetition. So in that vamp, that is that part at the end of the song that goes on and on and on and on. And you'll probably hear some vamps this weekend. But Mary had a little vamp. So we know. Okay, so you can add that in there. That might work probably well. Other techniques, you can do what's called whirring a note. Whirring a note, you'll find a singer will take one note and just stay on it. Let me see, which one will I take? Just tell me which one to whir. Tell me out of the text, which one you want me to stay on. You've heard it 20 times, so I know you're going to text. Which one? Has. Mary has. Right? So I'm just whirring that note. So you stay on that area and you just keep punching it and hitting it and hammering it, and that makes it happen here. Now, the one thing about improvisation, the way you do it is you listen, you imitate, you assimilate, and then you try it. You're not going to be good when you just start it the first time. So don't stop because, oh, I'm not as good as the expert. You're not going to be good the first time you try it. It'll probably be a mess, which is fine. But the more and more you do it, the better you get. And it's just a matter of feeling uninhibited, being free. And the one thing we start talking about African-American music, part of the African aesthetic is freedom as opposed to the Ethiopian aesthetic, which is permission. There is always a kind of freedom to say, let's just do whatever I feel in the moment. And it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad, I have that freedom to try anything. And that's very difficult when you're normally, used to, what are they going to say about me? What are they going to think about me? Well, who cares what they're going to think? Just be free in your spirit and sing the joy. So, I want somebody to try to sing Mary Had a Little Lamb. And I want you to just do something different. Whether you're going to change the text, whether you're going to change the note, whether you're going to add some extra things to the melody, whether you're going to hold back, whatever you want to do. I want you to create something very different. Any volunteers? So come on. You can start. I can either give you a key and work with you, or you can sing wherever you want, and I can find you.
A key's fine. Just go. Yeah, give me a key.
Give me a key. Now,
I don't need any problems.
Soprano. What did she do?
She was adding a lot of riffs, and she held back on a lot of the notes, but then she sped up.
Okay, good. So she did some holding back. She did a couple other things. What else did she do? Yes?
She played with some flat thirds.
Yes, girl. Say she flatted some of those notes, which is great. She even did this other thing. You can see her. Okay, go over to the. Go on, let me high five. All right. The baby was improvising. But it's just that simple. It's just trying. Now somebody who's like, I know I can't do it, who's just like, I'm not going to get up there because I'm not going to make a fool of myself, be willing to come and try. Come on. Come on. All right, what's your name? Yeah! All right.
She's wearing the right shirt.
All right. Shiloh.
Yes.
All right. Soprano, alto.
Alto.
All right, we'll put you back down here. What did she do? She did, all right. She repeated some things. All right. Some of the phrases, she turned those. What else?
She changed the rhythm.
She changed the rhythm.
Didn't she hold
The timbre, yes. She went on up to the head. Boy, she gave a nice little hoop there.
She did
What
a
else?
little hold on Mary, Mary.
She had the Mary, Mary, Mary. All right. Any other thoughts? All right, but she, like, she up and said, I can't do this, and guess what? She did. Now, what happens is, you can do it as a soloist, but you can also do it as a group. All right, now, and that's a lot of times up to the ingenious or creativeness of the conductor. So, let me show you something. I'm going to make this up right on the spot. So, sopranos in the room, you're going to go, give me a phrase. Anything.
Mary had a little lamb.
Oh, anything. I don't care.
I'm on the spot.
Spot, You know, there are folks who are professional singers who do this and have done it for a zillion years. That's why they sound so wonderful, and that's why you're like, well, you know, you'll get there, but you got to start. So it's just about taking off the fears and all those things, you know, the worry about what people think, and just try. You know how when you're singing in the shower, and you don't think anybody's listening, and you just, woo, you're just going on, and you just, you know, woo. Well, that's the same idea of just letting what comes out of your heart come forth. And again, everybody won't have the same voice, won't have the same level of gifting in that way, but it's coming from your heart. And that's significant about gospel music. Well, you know, and I'm a product of it. You know, sometimes we're so stressing, you know, we make such an issue of perfection and everything place and, you know, that we sometimes forget to feel and have the joy. That's what this music is about. And I often say, it's not that we don't want perfection. We do want the notes to be in tune and in place. Amen. But if they're not, and you sing with joy from your heart, and you took away a smile when you came with a frown, that's more significant than a note-perfect performance that is sterile, and you feel nothing. So that's what I want you to always enjoy. And I know that's why you guys are singing, because you take away something. And that's what's so significant about this music. It allows you the freedom to sing from your heart, and it gives you then something back. Now, let me talk about this. This is a good piece where we can kind of move in. I'll take some questions. I want to talk about 3 different levels of gospel music performance. Level 1 is just music, where you just sing your notes. 85% of most choirs, you come and learn your notes, you sing, get up, that's it. Level 2 is what I call polished music. Polished music means that after you learn your notes and words, you do things to make it musically beautiful. So what song goes crescendos, you know, tenutos. So, I mean, just make it music with you. That's level 2. So level 3 is what we call anointed polished music. And in the gospel tradition, that means that as you sing praises to the God of the gospel, that the power and presence of God overshadows what you do. Now, if you've ever heard this music and all of a sudden you are crying, or you're feeling chills, or you're like, oh, I feel something happening. Well, the gospel singer would say, that's the anointing. That means you have sung into the presence of God. Well, I always say to my kids, you know, at an academic institution, I can only demand that you level 2, but I don't mind if you bring your level 3 along. Which means that I want you to sing from your heart. And if you can get kids to sing from their hearts, they will come sing to you all the time. So it's about the joy of singing, and that's what the Slation is. They knew that they could keep a song in their heart. If they could keep a song in their heart, they could make it through anything. And what has happened many times, we just stopped singing as a community. So what you guys are doing, you music ed students, they don't pay you a lot of money, and they're not going to pay you a lot of money to do what you do. But bringing music to the hearts of young people, and by having an opportunity to sing and going out and being an example that you can still sing with joy, wherever you are, whatever stage of life, that is so significant. So don't let the significance and value of really what you do be masked or overshadowed by what the world says is important. Because what you do is important, and what you're desiring to do is very, very important. So I want you to take that, really take that to heart. You know, because you're all bit by the bug. I can go to each and every one of you, and you can tell me the story of that one music teacher or that experience that made you go, oh, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Somebody somewhere did something that changed your life, and that's why you're here. And that's why they're still wanting to be a part of it. Because somebody somewhere changed your life and says, you can feel through a song. So, very, very powerful, and that's what this music allows us to do. So hopefully, you learned a little bit. I know we need just 10 more hours to go through all this other stuff. But that means we'll just have to come back and do something else. But certainly, thank you for having me. I do want to do some questions and answers. And if there are any questions specifically related to any of the areas that we talked about or not talked about, let me know. Let's do set. Let's see if we can answer some of your questions. If you have any. Any questions? Any thought? Why does this happen? How does this happen? What is this? Yes, ma'am.
I have like a personal opinion type of question,
Okay.
I guess. I know a lot in contemporary gospel, I get a little frustrated because in terms of improvisation, ad there's a lot of it, and sometimes the melody gets lost. How do you, first of all, where did that come from? How did that start?
Well, what happened is, when we got to the 80s, let me give you a whole, with the advent of the synthesizer, we had a decline in the level of musicality within the community. Because now, where prior to this, you had to take formal lessons, you had to learn how to read, you had to do all these things. With the synthesizer, people could just push a couple buttons and make music very easily. But what it did is, it gave them the ability to make music quickly, but deprived them from the opportunity to become creators of music. So after you exhausted 2 or 3 things that you know, there's nothing left. So it started us down the path. Also during this era, we had an influx of what we call the contemporary blues and jazz era, where the virtuosity of singing came into gospel music. And while there were some who were excellent doing this, like Vanessa Bell and Take 6 and Daryl Coley and the Clark sisters and others who were masters of all this virtuosity, many others decided to imitate, who were not always as wise in where it goes and how it should be placed. You know, there is a melody. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
The runs are to be the embellishment and the ornamentation. That's not to be the song. So, but that also comes with teaching and training and mentoring. And in the African American community, especially in gospel music, there are no teachers. There are no trainers. You just listen and you pick it up. Where do they go to school to say, honey, you got a little bit too many runs here. Calm this down and just sing the melody.
Right.
And then we can add a little. Where do they go? They don't. So they just listen. And unless there are teachers, are you educating?
I was my undergrad.
Okay, that's all right. But unless there are teachers, literally, that will help them to go, okay, let's sing the melody first. With my kids, when they come, you know, they still said, listen, at least the first time through, sing the melody so we know what the song is. Let us hear the song first. And then, you know, you can add or whatever. But again, that comes with wisdom. It comes with maturity. Because often as a younger singer, your goal is to show everything you can do. And they do it in every song, in every run, in every line, and then you're like exhausted by the time they get done. So I agree with you, I understand. But that's how and why that has happened. But again, it's going to be teaching and mentoring and building relationships. Because there's some awesome singers. If you can get them to pull back and calm down and whatever, boy, what a wonderful gift they will have. So building relationships with your students, because all of you are going to have students who sing in church, who are going to be right in your choir. And they're going to come in, this is the way I do it in church. You got to get them to do something different. They're not going to change because you're the teacher. They're going to change because you have a relationship. So that's going to be very important. I will listen to you because I know you care about me. Not because you think you're better than me. But when you care, then you go, you know, Johnny, that's a nice song. I like what you did with those runs. You know what? Try to do something for me. Can you sing this one more time? Now, right this place. Hold this back right here. Hold it. Yeah. Oh, man. Johnny, I'm just Johnny. Right? So then Johnny all of a sudden, my teacher like, I like that whole back part. That's pretty. Maybe I will hold it. Maybe I will sing the melody, right? So building relationships. Relationship. I often talk about, you know, the R's. You know, relevance, relationship, results. I mean, all of these things in terms of working with young people and trying to guide them. You know, building all these things. But relationship is key. If they know you care, you get to do anything. How many wonderful high school choirs are doing just fabulous things because some teacher who's been there for 50 years and they keep churning them out year after year after year after year because the teacher cares. That's going to be the difference in your program. When you care about your kids and they know it, they're going to sing for you. They will sing for you. And they'll be hanging out in your office and it's like, go home. You know, but they know you care. So hopefully that makes a difference. But relationship and teaching. So any other thoughts? Any other questions? Yes.
Sorry.
You can have another one.
Vocal health
Yes.
in gospel music is like rare, I feel. I feel like every time I go to a gospel concert, sometimes my throat hurts from listening to the singer. And it's like, you sound great, but now it's like, and usually like their voices are gone by the end of the concert. So like, what are some tips that like simple, you know, because I feel like, you know, when I was in gospel choir for like 2 days in my undergrad, because my mom was like, don't sing in there, you can't ruin your voice. And I was, because by the end of the rehearsal, I was like, I can't do this. I have no voice. What can be done to teach, you know, strictly like in a college setting where it's like non-major gospel choir type of stuff? What simple tips can be taught
Yeah.
local health?
Well, first thing, that's a loaded one. There's lots of layers. First
Yeah.
thing, learn and apply correct vocal technique. That's the first thing. But it's still about the leadership. I give an example. Ohio State had a student-run gospel choir, and we had the school gospel choir that I conducted in school music. And quite often the students would not join our choir because they couldn't sing as they normally wanted to sing.
Yeah.
But I remember one day I was sitting in class, and the student-run choir was having rehearsal in the next room. And I was just sitting there intrigued. I'm supposed to be in class, but I keep listening because the director was trying to get the students to sing something a certain way. And he kept badgering them, no, do this, no, do this, no, do this. And actually, they were doing exactly what he was asking for. He didn't know the language to tell them to do. And I didn't know who he was, so we had a break, so I went over, and I went to meet him, and I was like, I don't have the relationship to do this, so I can't say anything, but I want to say what you want them to do is round the tone and drop the jaw. But he didn't know that language, so he kept beating it, no, I want opera singing, and they couldn't get, So the idea is the leadership makes a big difference in terms of where the group can go. Now, but let's deal with this issue. This is also very important. When we start talking about gospel music, even your mom would say, don't sing that, you're going to bring voice. Now, remember I talked about these two different poles? When we start talking about African American music and history, this is very important for you to understand. This will help you as well. When Africans came from Africa to America, they brought with an African culture. That culture collided with European culture. When those two came together, it created something new, which was African American culture. But there is a continuum from completely European aesthetic to the completely African aesthetic and something in the middle. African Americans are not the same. There are some African Americans who were raised completely in European aesthetics, and all they know is European music. There are African Americans who were raised completely in African aesthetic settings, and all they know is this area. And African Americans themselves have battered one another and stereotyped one another because they don't realize that there is a difference between the community. So there are African Americans who don't like gospel, and there are African Americans who hate classical music, and they hate African Americans who sing classical music. I hate that music. So the point is, when you understand that, gospel music is not based upon the European aesthetic of beauty with the bel canto singing. That is wrong. It's based upon this coarse, rough, holler, scream, gut bucket, kill your voice, and have nothing left. That's what it's based upon. So when they sing it that way, it's absolutely correct stylistically, but it's not absolutely healthy. So when people say, is singing gospel music wrong? The way, no, they're singing it absolutely right. That's the way it's supposed to be sung according to the aesthetic. But singing it that way is not healthy. So what your goal then is to become the teacher or the person who can build a relationship to be the advocate to help them learn to bring these healthy tools into their style of singing. And that's what we have been doing for the last 20 years, showing people how to sing this way, but stylistically with bel canto technique that allows you to have a voice when the concert's over. So, but that, I'm glad you brought that because that's very important. And as long as you know that those students who come from traditional gospel backgrounds will come from a completely different place, you cannot beat into them what you think is perfect. You have to understand where they are, meet them there, build relationship, then move them back. Otherwise, they're saying, you killing yourself, you messing your voice. Well, I don't like what you do either, right? So you build relationship, and as you build relationship, then you can begin to teach. And when you begin to teach, the bridge gets together, and people come to middle places that they would never be in other places. All right, so thank you for that. I know my time is up. I see Brother Ruth over here telling me it's time to go, but it's been great being with you. You know where I am. I think my information is on the sheet as well, somewhere back there. Feel free to touch bases. I'm at Indiana University, thinking of grad school and all of that. Come on and share. And in fact, we've got a good IU. We got some other intricate connections there. So, come on and join us. We'd love to have you. Yes,
well, I thank Dr. Weiss again for coming and presenting for ACDA. And he needs to go downstairs to a rehearsal. So I know you want to talk to him, but please allow him to get to that rehearsal. So, they're waiting on him. So we have a big weekend, and we will see you guys Saturday at the concert.